Yesterday was a very interesting day for boxing. Y'all already know it. We got to talk about it. Tiara Brown and Skye Nicolson. What a fight. 10 rounds of action. And Tiara Brown becomes WBC champion. She's been waiting for her opportunity for a very long time. At 36 years old, she finally got it. Seized her moment. And there you have it. So congratulations to Tiara Brown on doing what she did yesterday. Put her name in the books. And Sebastian Fundora versus Cordell Booker. What a brutal finish. Sebastian Fundora, in spectacular fashion, 4th round stoppage. Let's talk about it, my peoples. 2 world champions. Tiara Brown is now a world champion. Sebastian Fundora defended his title. World champion. What's next for them? And what did we think about yesterday's action? It was an interesting Saturday for myself. Tiara Brown and Skye Nicolson, they fought in Australia. So if you're on Eastern time, that fight took place at about 6:20 in the morning. I got up real early, make sure I catch those fights. I actually got to call the action. The videos are up. You can check that out. And then I also got to watch Sebastian Fundora at night, call that fight as well. But, it was a very interesting Saturday. There were a bunch of other fights that were also very interesting. Jose Ramos Jr., explosive knockout as well. And in OTX, they also had some great fights. Malik Montgomery Mayhem, he got upset yesterday. That's a fight that I didn't have the opportunity to watch. But I'll be checking that out because I definitely want to chime in on that. But right now, this is about Tiara Brown versus Skye Nicolson and Sebastian Fundora versus Cordell Booker. My peoples. My peoples. These fights were both very entertaining to watch. Ozzy, Young Bull, we live. What's the deal, my G? Appreciate you hopping on, my brother. First of all, did you get to see Skye Nicolson versus Tiara Brown? And did you get to see Sebastian Fundora versus Cordell Booker? Both of those fights, one took place at about 6:20 in the morning, and the other one at about 10 o'clock at night. So we was watching boxing in the morning and at night, in Australia and in the U.S. Ozzy, Fundora's looking good. That's facts, my brother. Fundora was out there looking for destruction, looking for an explosive finish. That's what I expected. We was talking about it before the fight. We was making predictions. I think you predicted Fundora was going to stop him by the 7th round. The stoppage came in the 4th. And you saw Sebastian Fundora was on seek and destroy mode, my peoples. By the way, we're going to be talking about this action. Don't forget to hit that like button, my peoples. I'm not going to be like a C-level fighter. Don't treat me like a bum. Hook me up. Hit that like button, my peoples. Comment, subscribe. Go ahead and share Box Center. This is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. I promise you. Bakai, hi. Can you see me? Well, I can't see you, my brother. You're not on camera. I'm on camera. You can see me. But let me know, my peoples, what did y'all think about Skye Nicolson versus Tiara Brown and Sebastian Fundora versus Cordell Booker? Those were 2 good fights, man. Real good fights. One of them, the first one, Skye versus Tiara, that went the distance. 10 rounds of action. Fundora, pure destruction. He finished it in the 4th round. That was insane. Xander, Yobo, I got a chain right here. You want to have it? Nah, my brother, I don't need a chain. I need to talk about boxing, my guy. El fantasma de Geraldo Ledén, mi hermano, bendiciones. Bendiciones, hermanito mío. So there you have it, my peoples. What's up? Hi, how you doing, my brother? So there you have it, my peoples. Yesterday, it was a great Saturday for boxing. If you're a fan of boxing, what better than to wake up early in the morning, catch some fights, and then, go about your day, and then at night, you get some other fights. So, I'm happy about that. What are you talking about? Bankai, we talking about yesterday's fights. Skye Nicolson and Tiara Brown, they fought for the title. It went the distance. And Tiara Brown becomes the WBC champion. And then we have Sebastian Fundora, who fought at night, and he won by pure destruction. It was a fourth round stoppage. He was just putting all type of hands on Cordell Booker. He was out there to destroy him, and that's exactly what he did. Now, I mentioned yesterday, Cordell Booker, I don't know how he got a title shot. He's not a guy who's been in there with big names. He hasn't beaten, top-level opponents, so I don't know how he got that shot. It seems like he was out there to get beat up, and that's exactly what happened. He got beat up, my peoples. But I want to see what you guys think about them fights from yesterday, man. It was a great day for boxing. Sosa Family Gone, good morning, brother. What's the deal, my G? Appreciate you dropping on, man. Bendiciones, bendiciones, manito. Yo, yesterday, man, I loved it. I loved it. Those fights in Australia was early in the morning, so I got up early. I got to call those fights. And then at night, the same deal. We got more fights. So it's like a day of boxing for us. Iceberg, who should Fundora fight next? I mean, look, Fundora has some options. I believe that Xander Zayas is a great option. I love the way Xander Zayas fights. I love his style. And he's like a throwback fighter. He's about all the smoke. And it's looking like he wants Fundora. He wants Virgil. Xander wants everybody. So I'm with it. If Fundora gives Xander Zayas a shot, I'm happy with that. But he can also fight Virgil Ortiz. I like that fight as well. So Fundora has some good fights that he can make next. And, he's also a throwback fighter. He's not a guy who's trying to run from the big names. He's not trying to run from the best fighters in the division. I think Fundora will fight anybody. Hopefully, Xander Zayas finally get his shot at a title. I believe that he deserves it, and I believe that he's ready. Xander Zayas versus Fundora, that's like a 50-50. Fundora's going to be the favorite. But Xander, he's that special that I believe that he's ready for that type of challenge. But again, my peoples, Saturday was a great day for boxing. In Australia, early in the morning if you're on the East Coast. And then in the U.S., Fundora at night. What better can we get? What more can we get than that? That a full day of boxing, in the morning and at night. I loved it. Loved it. Iceberg. Have you seen David Lopez? I haven't seen him. I've heard of him, but I really haven't seen him. I can't tell you. I actually maybe seen some highlights, but haven't actually seen him. John Parent, Fundora should fight Wemby. I mean, Fundora, man, with that size that he has, he's a tough fighter to beat, man. He's very tough. Especially the division that he's in at 154. There's not, matter of fact, in any division, there's not a lot of fighters that go that far above 6 feet tall. There just isn't, unless he moves all the way up to heavyweight. Cito, God bless everyone. Buenos dias. Like the Superman short. What's the deal, my G? No doubt, no doubt. In the building. John Parham. Fundora versus Fury. Bro, I don't think Fundora will ever be a heavyweight. But who is going to be able to fight him and not have such a disadvantage when it comes to height and reach? It's like he's super tall for everybody in the division. But we did see him lose. His lone defeat is to a smaller fighter. So size isn't everything. Skills pay the bills. A smaller guy can't beat someone who's a lot taller. But, Fundora is not just his size. It's his skills level. It's his combination punching. It's his sharp punching. So Fundora's going to be a very, very tough fighter to beat for anyone. John Parham, it's crazy that low weight with that height. That's what I'm saying, man. You that big and you fighting at 154. That's insane, bro. John Parham, he will never make that weight. David, with Eddie Hearn relationship with Skye Nicolson, do you think there will be a rematch? Now, I know that they're going to push for a rematch, but you got to remember, this was a mandatory, meaning there is no rematch clause. However, the way I see it is Eddie Hearn got the money to back it up, and I think they could make Tiara Brown a good enough offer that she'll take the rematch. I think that, they'll be able to say, hey, look, you're going to be the A side. We're going to give you this money. Now, we got to remember, Tiara Brown is now the WBC champion. So if they do a rematch, that rematch is not going to happen in Australia. Skye Nicolson is going to have to go to the U.S. and fight her. and they're going to have to pay her real good for that rematch. That's the only way I see it happening. Cito, I got Xander lighting up the body, possibly breaking a rib. I think we're going to see Fundora on the ropes all night. That's a great fight. You know, Xander Zayas is not the type of guy to be running around and try to be defensively. No. He's going to bring it to you. So I would love to see that fight. John Parham, he needs a rematch. Who are we talking about, John? Who needs a rematch? David, but it was super close, so may deserve one anyway. I mean, we could say Skye deserves a rematch. That's fair enough. But if there's no rematch clause in place, then Tiara doesn't have to give it to her. The sanctioning body cannot mandate a rematch. So at this point, really, Tiara Brown is on the driver's seat. She decides if, her and her team decide if they want to give a rematch. And I promise you, for that rematch, they're going to have to pay her. They're going to have to pay her real good, and it's definitely going to be under her terms. That rematch will go down in the U.S. if it happens. Cito, Xander chopping tree. I mean, Xander Zayas, man, he a very special fighter. I believe in him. To me, he looks eerily like Tito Trinidad. Just the way he fights, that left hook is identical to the way Tito Trinidad used to let it go. So I would love to see Fundora versus Xander Zayas. I think Xander deserves his title shot, and he's ready for it. John Parham, like and subscribe, my peoples. Y'all already know what it is, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share the videos. By the way, guys, I already uploaded a couple of videos today. I'm always putting up new content, so I hope you guys enjoy that as well. Can't remember the name of the guy who beat Fundora. I can't remember off the top of my head. That's the type of, if you put the name up there, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that's him, but I can't remember. I will have to go to BoxRec. John Parham, Skye definitely will get a rematch, but only on U.S. soil. That's a fact. That's it. Tiara Brown is the champion. She's been waiting for an opportunity. She finally got it. And now she's going to be, she's on the driver's seat. She's going to dictate the terms. Asuma, what do you think of Chinese boxer Something Wong? I don't know who that is, my brother. I don't know. I have to do my little research because honestly, I don't know who that is. But damn, yo, what do you guys think? Those of you who got to watch the fights early in the morning and the fights at night, what do you think about that situation? Where you have to wake up early in the morning, watch the fights, and then go about your day, and then at night, watch some more fights. What do you think about that? I loved it, personally. I know it was two separate networks. One was done on the Zone in the morning, and the ones at night, PBC, that was on Amazon Prime, but I enjoyed it. Cito, Xander hasn't lost around his last 3 fights, and he wasn't fighting scrubs. Every fight, Xander is outworking his opponents. Listen, Xander Zayas, man, he's a very special fighter, super sharp. I love the fact that he doesn't waste any punches. He doesn't throw punches in the air or anything. Like, he's going in with specific mindset of destruction. And you can see the intention behind his punches. He's going to stand there right in front of you, make you miss and make you pay. Sometimes he eats a shot here and there, but he's always going to retaliate. I love Xander Zayas' mindset. He's like a warrior, and he's going to bring it to you. He's going to come forward and bring the action. Iceberg, I'm in Australia, so the time we're different. Oh, okay, but in a way, it was the same for you because you got to watch Skye Nicolson at night, but then if you saw Fundora, that was in the morning for you. So it's the same thing. Those two fights were far apart from each other, those two cards. And it was super entertaining to watch. I do believe, like I said, that Skye, she fought real good. It was a very close fight. So I believe that she deserves a rematch. But with no rematch clause in place, it's all about Tiara Brown and what she decides to do. So now y'all going to have to convince her. Y'all going to have to make an offer that makes it worth it to her. Like, okay, you're gonna give me a career payday. We're going to make this in the USA. Let's do it. I think that's the way to get that rematch. If they want her to come back to Australia and play the B-side, I promise you, my brother, there will not be a rematch. There won't. She has to be the A-side, and it has to take place in the U.S. That's the only way it goes down. And Eddie Hearn is a great negotiator. Eddie Hearn knows the business. He knows how it works. So, And you saw him at the end of the fight. He gave credit to Tiara Brown for winning. And it's interesting because it was a split decision, right? And they announced the first two judges' scorecards, and the last scorecard that they were announcing was the Australian judge. And the Australian judge gave it to Tiara Brown. So I'm super happy about that. It looks like, there was some integrity there. The judge, who's from Australia, judging in Australia, was not biased. He actually gave an honest score. He saw Tiara winning, gave her the fight. So salute to that judge in Australia who did not go by bias, was not pressured into, scoring the fight for the home fighter. He did the right thing. Salute to that judge, whoever that was, man. Real talk. Cito, George ain't doing much at 140, honestly. I got hitches if they fight. George couldn't put Wiley away, but it was a good scrap. Enjoy the fight. I like Kambosos staying there at 135. Look, I'm going to be honest with you, my brother. George Kambosos, I was surprised that this fight was as competitive as it was. Wiley was there on 5-day notice, so it's not like he had a full training camp to prepare for George Kambosos. Still gave him a heck of a fight. Kambosos, he looked good at times, but I don't know. I don't think Kambosos is going to get another big win like what he got off of Teofimo. I think that's going to be his lone big win of his career, and he might end up, a gatekeeper. Might end up, being that guy that if you want to get a shot, if you want to move up, you got to fight. Go beat Kambosos first. It might be that type of situation. Hello, I'm from South Korea. Where are you from? Well, my brother, it doesn't really matter where I'm from. First, if you want to ask where I'm from, we got to talk boxing. What you got to say about boxing, about yesterday's fights? That's what we talking about, my brother. Cito, I agree, Jay. I think Kambosos might end up being a gatekeeper, Because I tell you what, Kambosos, right now, he's not looking like he could beat the top guys. I think it's not looking like it. But the B-level fighters, they're going to have a tough fight with him. They're going to, it's going to be hard to beat him at that level. So it's just the main guys who's going to put the beats on him. But the average Joe, you're not going to beat George Kambosos. Well, my brother, I see you saying I like UFC. This channel, look, Box Center. So I like UFC as well, my brother, but this channel is 100% boxing. We don't do UFC over here, my guy. My peoples, come on, man. It's 21 of us, 11 likes. Why y'all gotta do me like I'm a C-level fighter, man? Y'all doing me like I'm out here getting beat up by C-level fighters. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that share. Let everyone know this is it right here. Cito, wrong channel, my brother. Yeah, wrong channel for UFC. And I like boxing. There you have it, my G. If you like boxing, talk to me. Did you see the fight from yesterday? And what was your fight that you enjoyed? And what do you think is next for these fighters? But again, my peoples, I felt like, George Kambosos, it was a little bit too competitive, taking into account that Wiley stepped in last moment notice. I think George Kambosos should have looked a lot better than what he actually did. And I see Richard Sahiches outboxing him, putting the beats on him. Iceberg, who do you think the best Australian boxer is? The best Australian boxer right now? Ooh, that's a great question. I gotta think about that, man. I really gotta think about that. Because my number one guy was Tszyu. Tszyu was my guy. He took a couple of losses, and I still believe in him. I still believe in Tszyu. But I really got to think about that. Who's the best fighter from Australia? I got to think about that, my brother. I really do. I know that you guys got some real good fighters over there. John Parham, I say probably Tim. Tim, now, listen, you have a nice day too, my brother. Listen, I do have to say, Bakram, the guy who beat Tim, he's a very good fighter, man. He's a very good, very tough fighter. Hard puncher, pressure fighter. So I really like Bakram, and I want to see who he's going to fight next. Fundora could get that action if he wanted to. Fundora could get that. So Backrub, he's a tough fighter, man, for anybody. Now, I believe that Tszyu maybe underestimated him, and he paid the price for that. But even with those 2 losses that Tszyu has, I really like him, and I believe that he's gonna be a champion again. I believe that Tszyu is still gonna move on because he's a very tough guy, mentally too. It's very hard to take a loss. I know he was disappointed and all that good stuff, but Tszyu, he reminded me of his father, Tszyu. And Tszyu was a very tough fighter, and I believe Tim is the same type of fighter. Angry Mexican, Keith Thurman cooked Tszyu. I mean, I gotta tell you, Tszyu was trying to get that action with Keith Thurman for a long time, and Keith didn't want to make it happen. So let's see now. Maybe now, with Tszyu coming off of a loss and Keith Thurman coming off of a win, maybe they make that fight happen. But Tszyu had been trying to fight Keith Thurman for a long time. I got to tell you that. John Parham, Costa was a dog. Hell yeah, man. Costa Tszyu, dog. And I see that same dog in Tszyu. I see it. Their styles are very similar as well, the way that they fight. Angry Mexican, Keith got hurt. Yeah, but you got to see that Keith Thurman, not only he got hurt, he's also just been inactive. Like, even when he wasn't hurt, he's been inactive. But let's see, because he's already, back, won in beautiful fashion with a stoppage. So maybe he gets a big fight next. Maybe he goes after Tszyu. He actually did call out. You see, that's what I don't like about Keith Thurman, man. He called out. Think about this, man. He calling out Jermell Charlo. When was the last time Jermell Charlo fought? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? 2? Come on, bro. Why are you calling out a fighter who's inactive, who's not even fighting? So I didn't like that part about Tszyu. You got to call out the guys who's handling business. John Parham, I like Thurman personally, but got to see if he still got it. Yeah, we have to see it because he also fought a guy, in Australia who he was undefeated, but it's one of these guys who's a local fighter who has that undefeated record versus, unknown opponents who haven't been in the big stage. So Tim looked good, but how good is he going to look if he step in the ring versus one of the guys? How good is he going to look versus Fundora, versus Xander Zayas, versus, any of these? And by the way, Jerome Boots Ennis also been calling out for Tszyu. Go fight Boots. And when Keith Thurman was asked about Boots, he gave out some ducking language. Oh, well, if the money's right, if the money's right, then we can make it. As soon as a fighter start talking about the money's right, they want to duck. Because at no point is he saying, yeah, I want to fight Boots. They got to pay me, but I want to fight him. He's not saying I want to fight him. He's saying if the money's right, I will fight him. In other words, you got to convince me with money because I don't really want this fight. That's how that sounds to me. Hash Bass. Tim is nothing like his father because his dad beat some great fighters. It's not, if you look, you're going by the fighters, the names that he beat, but I'm talking about the way that he fights, his mindset, his heart, his combination punching, his pressure. Everything about him is like his father. Now, if you want to compare the resume, that's different. I never said that they got the same resume. All I'm saying is that the fighting style is identical. Just like Tszyu, Tim be pulling and boom, letting the right hand go. Just like Tszyu, he's a come forward type of fighter. Just like Tszyu, he's a very good counter puncher. They're identical. Inside the ring, they're a carbon copy. So yes, Tim is exactly like his father. The resume, that's a different conversation, my brother. John Parham, like and share. Y'all already know, my peoples. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Hit that subscribe button. All that good stuff. Angry Mexican. Costa was a sharper puncher. I don't know. I think that's a matter of opinion. If we look at fights that they both won and exactly the way they're combination punching and the way that they go about their business, bro, they look identical. I'm going to do a video where I'm showing both of them winning their fights by knockout, so you can see they're identical. Even the way they stand, even the way that they put the hand out like this, and boom, let out the right hand right behind it. They do a lot of things that are identical, and then they look alike. Then they also look alike. Tim just needs to grow the little, it's not even a ponytail, just a little bit of hair hanging in. Tim just needs to grow the little hair in the back, and he's going to be identical to Tszyu. I'm telling you, Tim don't got the resume, of course, but the fighting style, the heart, the hunger, the grit, the come forward, destruction mode, they're identical, bro. They are identical. You could tell by watching Tim that he's been trained by his pops and that he studied his pops' tapes and all that stuff. Then there's Nikita Tszyu, by the way. Nikita, he's still coming up. I think we could still consider him a prospect. Very skilled as well, somebody to look out for. But we digress, my peoples. What did y'all think about Sebastian Fundora's, performance from yesterday? What do you think about that? I felt like Fundora, he looked spectacular, but we gotta keep it 100, my peoples. Cordell Booker, he was out there to get knocked out. That was his job. You don't pick a lower level opponent like this and not knock him out. So Fundora did what he was supposed to do. We got to be real about it. We got to keep it 100. Fundora did exactly what we expected him to do. That's how I saw it. And by the way, guys, if you didn't see it, I actually called the fight live. The video is up already. I hope those who saw it, I hope that you enjoy it. I call the fight differently. You know what I'm saying? Nobody calls the fight the way I call them. So those who had the opportunity to see me calling it, I hope that you enjoy the show, my peoples. Unlaced. Salute, chat. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. Unlaced. Talk to me, man. What did you think about Fundora, his performance from yesterday? What do you think about that? I thought it was, I thought he did what he was supposed to do. I thought that, I felt like he was supposed to knock Booker out, and he did. In destructive fashion. Black Jericho, salute Jay Smith. How's the weather over there? Oh, nah, the weather's beautiful over here. Beautiful. The sun is out. Couple clouds here and there. Beautiful weather. You see? Look. I'm in a t-shirt. So you already know what it is. I'm in a t-shirt in my balcony, so you already know. Beautiful weather. I would say it's like in the 70s right now. And a little bit of wind so we don't have to get so hot. Hash bash. Fundora win was expected because that was knock people out. That's facts. And then this opponent who, I don't even know how Booker got a title shot, to be honest. Maybe just the PBC didn't have anyone else to match Fundora with, and they gave him a shot. But Booker doesn't even look like a guy. If you look at the resume, he don't even look like a guy who deserved the title shot, to be honest. On Lace, he looked good. Fighting competition lower than him. Lower level competition. Maybe the PBC can get him a better opponent next time around. Maybe they could do it with Xander Zayas. Maybe they could do it with Virgil Ortiz. Let's see what happens next for Fundora. He said that he's open to fighting any of them. Black Jericho, it's 36 degrees over here. Ooh, in Detroit. We waiting on spring still. Damn, 36 degrees. You still got to wear that hoodie. You still got to wear that jacket out there. Ooh. Yo, man, I don't like the cold weather. I'm not a fan of the cold weather. Only when I went snowboarding. I went snowboarding a couple of times. I'm cool with it. I like the snow. I like the cold if I'm having fun. But just overall, to go outside, I hate it. Black Jericho, Booker didn't look like he belonged in there with Fundora. He didn't, my brother. If you saw, he was out there trying to survive from the first round. A lot of moving around, a lot of, staying real far from Fundora. And every time they closed the gap, he was getting hands put on him. He landed a couple of punches here and there. But nah, he was out there to get knocked out. Simple as that. On Lace, the Zayas fight would be a good fight. And Xander Zayas has been calling for it. That's what I like about Xander. He's calling for the big dogs. He won his opportunity. I believe that he's ready for it. And I like to see Xander Zayas, whether it's with Fundora or with Virgil Ortiz, because he said he won both of those fights. Black Jericho, Zayas gets washed by Fundora. We have to see it. We have to see it, my guy. Because I'm going to tell you what. Xander Zayas, he has that style very similar to Tito Trinidad. I've been telling that to people for a long time. Xander looks like Tito Trinidad in there. He does. And I believe that he's going to give Fundora a heck of a fight. Right now, I'm not ready to make a prediction, but Fundora's not going to wash him. Nobody washes Xander Zayas. I promise you this. I'm not predicting anything. But right now, I know for a fact that that's a very tough fight. Both fighters will land some heavy punches on each other. Both fighters will have their moment. And if the fight gets done, I'll make my prediction. But that's a good fight. Trust me, brother. Trust me, Black Jericho. Nobody watches Xander Zayas. Nobody. Hash Bash. What about Fundora? What about what Fundora did to Lubin? That was a destruction, but Lubin is not on Xander's level. You know, Lubin is a good fighter. Respect to him. But Xander Zayas is a special fighter. That's different. I mean, but Fundora, he does what he does, man. He's a top-level fighter. He's an elite-level fighter. And he's dangerous for anybody. He's a danger. When you that big, that tall, and you have the tools and resources that Fundora has, you bound to get hurt. You bound to get caught slipping in there. Black Jericho, Zayas isn't better than Lubin. That's an opinion, my brother. I believe Xander will smoke Lubin. You know, I believe Xander will smoke Lubin. Black Jericho, Xander hasn't beat anyone. Come on, brother. That's a bad argument. Every fighter that we know didn't beat anybody until they get an opportunity. He a young kid, my brother. Like, do you really say that about everybody before they beat somebody like that? That's the case, my brother, with every young fighter. There's a point in their career that they haven't beat nobody and they need an opportunity. Come on now, brother. And he's beat some good fighters. He's already beat a couple of ranked fighters. So when you say he hasn't beat anyone, well, he hasn't beat any of the big names, but he hasn't got the opportunity yet, my brother. You like when you say this person hasn't beat nobody, that's not really a good argument because you would say that to about everybody. Black Jericho, he's a hype job. Oh man, that's it. Right now, you using hater language. You're using hater language for Xander Zayas, my brother. He hasn't fought nobody. He's a hype job. That's hater language, my brother. Come on now. Come on now. Iceberg. Canelo once was a nobody. Yo, every single fighter that we can talk about had a point in their career where they hadn't beat nobody, where they hadn't beat a big name. That doesn't make him a hype job. Xander Zayas is a special fighter. Special fighter. Black Jericho. I'm just keeping it 100. Nah. Listen, when you say he's a hype job, you're not keeping it 100. You're expressing your opinion. I respect your opinion if that's how you see it, but I'm trying to tell you, Xander Zayas is a special fighter, and he's going to prove you wrong. When the time comes, you're going to take those words back. Pancho Villa, salute me, compa. Fuck the haters. Pancho Villa, what's the deal, my G? Bam. On Lace, what's up, my G? And by the way, shout out to John Parham, shout out to Black Jericho, shout out to Pancho Villa, shout out to Unlace. Yo, I appreciate you guys coming through and always showing love, hitting that like button, letting everybody know to subscribe. Y'all already know what it is, man. We doing what we do, and we headed for number 1. D Towers, you need to earn that fight with somebody who ain't gonna get the big opportunity off jump. That's the problem, that when you say somebody ain't fight nobody, it's a lot of times it's an exaggeration because Zayas already beat ranked opponents. So when you say he hasn't fought nobody, that's not really true. That's not true at all. Watch this. Watch this. I like to talk with facts. Xander Zayas, BoxRec. Look at this, my peoples. I'm looking at Xander Zayas' BoxRec, right? He's 21-0. The last opponent that he beat was Slava Spalmer, 20-0, undefeated. This guy was like ranked. This guy was ranked in all of the sanctioning bodies. A ranked opponent. The guy he beat before that, Damian Sosa, a ranked opponent. Before that, he beat Patrick Teixeira, a ranked opponent. So that's what y'all gotta understand, my peoples. A lot of times there are ranked opponents that are not famous, that we don't know by name. So when you say, oh, he didn't beat nobody, that's a lie. He beat ranked opponents that get him in a position for a title shot. He has done the right job. He has. And then look at this, my people. Look, I'm showing you. Look at the BoxRec. I'm showing you. Don't take my word for it, my peoples. I like to talk with facts. The last opponent he fought was 20 and 0. Before that, 25 and 2. Before that, Patrick Teixeira, 34 and 4. Before that, Jorge Frontera, 24 and 3. Yo, Xander Zayas is beating ranked opponents, my people. So when you say, oh, he didn't fight nobody, actually, he did. He fought the type of opponents that you need to move up in the rankings and finally get a title shot, my people. Come on now. Come on, my people. Scooby Boxing Entertainment, he beat Patrick. Exactly. That's why sometimes when you say, oh, he didn't beat nobody, you're really exaggerating, and it sounds like you're on hater mode. He beat the guys that are ranked, that move him up in order for him to get a title shot. Come on now. Come on, my people. And by the way, look, let me show you. I'm going to prove to you right now, Black Jericho. Look, you say he got a decent record. I don't think he's a top fighter, though. All right, that's an opinion. But I'm going to show you, my peoples, what you have to look at. Go to BoxRec, and when you say he didn't beat nobody, I'm going to prove you wrong. Go to BoxRec and see Xander Zayas' rating. My boy got 5 stars. Do you know what 5 stars mean? If you don't know, let me educate you, Black Jericho. 5 stars mean that you've been fighting and beating ranked opponents. If you don't fight and beat ranked opponents, your record could be 30 and 0, and you still have 2 stars, 2.5 stars. If you're fighting guys with losing records, you could be undefeated, and you still be having 2.5 stars. That's how you know a guy isn't really as good as the record says. When you got 5 stars in BoxRec, that means that you're fighting ranked opponents and you're beating them. Learn about the star rating, my peoples. Learn about the star rating. When you see those 5 stars, you're 100% wrong about him not fighting anybody. You're 100% wrong about him not earning a title shot. He definitely deserves a title shot, my peoples. D Towers. Nah, I meant that he's not going to start by fighting a superstar. He's going to start small and make his way up, just like everyone who was once a nobody becomes a somebody. That's a fact. That's a fact. You got to earn your way. You got to earn your way in. Hash Bass. You know some people don't have the eye, can't see a special fighter. I'm telling ya, if you don't think Xander Zayas is a special fighter, eventually you're going to find one or two things are going to happen. Or you're going to find out that he is a special fighter, or you're going to turn into one of his haters, and everything he does, you're going to find a negative angle about it. Simple as that. Xander Zayas is a special fighter, and you're going to see. Black Jericho, I don't know. I just learned something. I'm telling you, you got to unlace, you got to crawl before you walk. That's a fact. I'm telling you, if you didn't know that, this goes to everybody in here. The star ratings on BoxRec tell you how good a fighter is and how good are the opponents that he has been facing. Xander is not fighting bums. He's not fighting C-level opponents. He's not fighting guys who have 10 wins and 10 losses. No, he's fighting ranked opponents and he's beating them. That's how you get those stars, my peoples. So whenever you go in BoxRec, if you see they got 5 stars, they already deserve a title shot. When you see those 5 stars, that's what that tell you, my peoples. Black Jericho. Xander has nothing on Jesus Ramos, and I don't think he can beat Fundora or Lubin. That's a matter of opinion. I respect your opinion, my brother. But we have to see those fights happen. We have to. Right now, I'm going to put it to you like this. And I want you to remember I said this. Right now, I see Xander Zayas as the best fighter coming out of Puerto Rico. Period, point blank. And that's tough because there's a lot of real good fighters in Puerto Rico. A lot of real good fighters. But I remember Xander Zayas and Edgar Berlanga from like 6-7 years ago, and it's like they were right there. And Edgar Berlanga looks exactly the same way that he looked 6-7 years ago. It's like that's it. He already reached his ceiling. And every fight you see Xander Zayas getting better, getting sharper. And I'm going to just tell you, Black Jericho, go back and watch Tito Trinidad fight. Highlights, not a whole fight. Go watch Tito Trinidad highlights. Look at that left hook. And look at his combination punching, how sharp he was. And then look at Xander Zayas. And look at his left hook and his combination punching. He looks very similar to Tito Trinidad in there, my brother. That right there is going to show you, oh, shit, this guy's special. Because that's the thing. If you don't have that eye, a fighter got to prove to you that he's special. They got to have something in the resume for you to say, oh, yeah, he's special. You got this in the resume. But if you got that eye, you know that they're special. They don't have to prove it to you. Xander doesn't have to prove it to me. I already know he's special. He got to prove it to you because you don't have that eye. You have to see it in the resume to see that he's special. I don't have to, my brother. I can tell you right now that he's special, and 3, 4, 5 years down the line, we could talk and I'll be like, remember when I told you he was special and you didn't want to admit it? Look at him now. He's a 2-division or a 3-division champion or a unified champion. This guy's going to do special things in the world of boxing, I promise you. Xander Zayas is going to accomplish big things. And when he does, he's still going to have haters. He's still going to have people say, yeah, but he beat this guy because of this. And he, find angles to hate on him. Scooby Box Entertainment. Thank you, bro. I'm thinking I'm the only one saying this about Zayas. Special, and people saying he will get smoked by Ramos or Ortiz. I see a great fight with them guys, but I favor Zayas. I'm telling you, Xander Zayas, man, is a very special fighter. He don't need to prove it to me. I already know it. I already see the tools and resources that he has. I see the ring IQ that he has. He's a special fighter. That's as simple as that. Black Jericho. My eyes say Zayas is a hype job, and Ramos going to stomp him out. That's it, man. You got the eyes of Stevie Wonder. Black Jericho, he's not getting past Ramos. Ramos is bad news. We're going to see. We're going to see. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. We're going to see. Scooby Boxing Entertainment, you tweaking. I mean, people have their opinion. I don't know if this is cap. I respect your opinion, Black Jericho, but I think you're going to be disappointed. That's the thing. You're looking at it from the hater angle. Like, that's it. To you, Xander, it's a hype job. But I believe that Zayas is a special fighter, man, and he's going to be putting hands on a lot of people. Black Jericho, it's all fun. Yo, this is about the trash talking. That's what this is about right here. We trash talk, we go at it. It's all good, my brother. I want to see Xander Zayas finally get his opportunity. He's been calling out Virgil Ortiz. He said he want that smoke with Fundora. And by the way, let me point something out, my peoples. If y'all remember, Terrence Crawford was the mandatory for Fundora because of the WBO, right? Okay. Now, because he already said that he's not moving back down to 154, Xander Zayas becomes the #1 contender and the mandatory for Fundora. Xander Zayas may actually get that fight with Fundora as a mandatory. Boom. May actually happen. It may even actually happen next. Black Jericho, if he can beat Ramos or Ortiz or Lubin or Fundora, I'll give him props. If not, I'm not giving him props for beating ranked nobodies. Ranked nobodies? That's the way you categorize it. But those ranked nobodies, as you call it, those are the guys that earn him a title shot. Those are the guys that make him worthy of a title shot. He got to beat them. That's how you get those 5 stars, by beating those type of fighters. I'd pay to see it. I'm telling you, I think Xander Zayas is going to get that mandatory slot to fight Fundora. And Fundora's not going to vacate. Even yesterday, he said, they asked him, about Zayas. They asked him about Virgil Ortiz, and he's like, yo, I'm down with all of it. Down with all the smoke. Scooby Boxing Entertainment. Yo, y'all seen Zayas pulled up on Fundora? He asked for a face-off, and his manager said, nah. Because they know Xander's a problem. They know Xander's for real. They know it. Cito, my eyes say Black Jericho a hater. You see? Some people recognize special talent, and some people recognize a hater. Scooby Boxing Entertainment. Zayas coming for everyone. I'm telling y'all. That's facts, my brother. Xander Zayas is an old school, a throwback type of fighter, and he wants all the smoke. He want to fight all of them. Black Jericho. I saw that Fundora walk right up to him. Scooby. Hash Bash. How many knockouts Xander has because Tito was a KO artist? Xander highest has 21 wins, 13 knockouts. Scooby Boxing Entertainment. Yo, we got to laugh at it, my brother. We got to laugh. This is about trash talking. So salute to Black Jericho for the trash talking / hating on Xander Zayas. He's going to prove you wrong, my guy. He's going to prove you wrong. I'm telling ya. I hope Xander Zayas gets his opportunity versus Sebastian Fundora. Night and day. What's up, bro? What's the deal, my G? Cito. He's like a mix of Cotto and Tito. Yeah, bro. Xander Zayas and his sharpness. He's something special, man. If you don't see it, you're going to find out. You're going to learn. Oh, you're going to learn about Xander Zayas. When he finally get his shot, you're going to learn. Jules, man, did we all forget about Ryan? What happened to brother, man? Nah, yo, Ryan Garcia is going to have a real good fight with Rollies on May 2nd. I think he's going to knock Rollies out. He actually said that he's going to do Rollies the same way he did Fonseca. If you see the way he did Fonseca, he slapped him real bad with a left hook. Nasty. Jericho, he ain't proving nothing wrong. You going to see. You going to see when the time comes. Matt Key, question outside the boxing. I want to start boxing. What is your advice? Well, that depends on your age, my brother. If you're, in your 20s and you have very, very good physical abilities, if you practice sports, if you're in real good shape, you can still get into boxing. If you're in your 30s, it's an uphill battle. It's an uphill battle, and the odds are really, really against you. So it's going to depend on your age. Black Jericho, he's going to get snatched up. He's food. Start running. I don't know what you're talking about. You can watch every single Xander Zayas fight. He's not a runner. He's not a runner. He's going to stand there and trade with everybody and anybody. A Boogie 616. I hope Haney and Garcia both win and get that rematch going. Me too, my brother. Me too. We need that rematch. Based on the way the first fight played out, we know Ryan Garcia absolutely battered Devin Haney. But we know about the steroid situation. The fight, the outcome got overturned because Ryan Garcia did win that fight, by the way. But the outcome was overturned due to the steroid situation. So we need a rematch to find out what's going to happen. Jules, man, he's a monster in disguise. Absolutely ferocious. It shows how time is an investment. A crazy fighter since amateur. That's a fact. Ryan Garcia get a lot of disrespect. People don't understand how many national titles Ryan won as an amateur. He has that amateur pedigree. So for those people that say, oh, he's a YouTuber or he's a social media guy, nah. Ryan been a fighter, been boxing since he was like 12 years old. Come on now. We got to give Ryan Garcia his respect. D Towers, name one boxer you think is whack in your opinion. One boxer that I think is whack? Damn, man. Honestly, if anybody want to do it in the comment section, but I don't want to do it, my brother. I don't want to give that energy to the fighters. There's a few fighters that I think they whack. But I don't really want to name nobody, my brother. Matt Key, thanks for answering my question. What about kid? What is the best age to start? Honestly, the best age to start is anywhere between 10 and 12 years old. Even before that. It could be 8 years old. Between 8 and 12 years old. To me, that's the best age to start. Like, that's what gives you the most possibility to get to that highest level. You could start after that. It doesn't matter. But when they start at that, if you look at all the great fighters, the majority started within that age group. On Lace, 15 titles, I believe. Yo, Ryan Garcia did his thing in the amateurs. He has that pedigree. D Towers, Mac, I got my sons into it at 4 years old. You see? 4 years old. As they grow, they're learning, so that gives them more opportunities to get to that top level. Angry Mexican. Ryan is the only one out of the 4 kings that fought 2 of them. That's a fact. But, to be fair, he lost those 2 fights. He lost to Tank Davis and he lost to Devin Haney based on it was overturned. But what I do want to point out, all the people that were saying Ryan is a dog and Ryan is scared. Remember he was going through the mental health stuff that he pulled out on a couple of fights? Oh, he's scared of everybody. And look, now he's showing everybody that he's actually all about the smoke. On Lace, Jared's Big Baby Anderson. Whack. So I'm gonna keep it 100, man. I don't think that he's whack. I think that he's not hungry. You know, ever since Jared Anderson said that he doesn't care about a title, he said that a couple of years back. He don't care about a title. It's about making money. I haven't really rocked with him after. I'm like, oh, this guy's not hungry. This guy's not gonna make it all the way. He's gonna get beat because he's just not hungry like that. A Boogie 616. Getting started just as fun as a baby and getting that instinct in, then perfecting it. Jules, man, I can't wait to see another Padley fight. He was an amazing fighter, bro. Yo, Padley versus Shakur, he lost, he got stopped, but it was on a short notice, and he's already signed to Matchroom, and they already announced that he's gonna be fighting again in a couple of months. I don't remember when. I want to see him. I want to see, him go through a full training camp, fighting on a bit of a lower level and slightly going up. Let's see where Padley can go. We're going to see it. Angry Mexican. Fake 4 kings. Cito. Damn, you angry, my brother. What's up? Cito. Jared don't got that heart for boxing. I mean, Jared Anderson, man, I just didn't like the way he was expressing himself about not needing a title. This is about the money. When you think like that, you cannot be training as hard as the guys who are hungry for it. And even when he lost to Bacoli, you got stopped by Bacoli, and he was like, man, listen, I'm good. I'm still going home, and I made my money. And like the way he was talking after taking a loss, he don't look like he got the heart of a champion. He just doesn't look it. I see Jared Anderson as a guy who's talented, but not hungry enough to go all the way, not disciplined enough to go all the way. Hash Bash. Ryan did lose to Devin because they put it as a no contest, like it never happened. Well, yeah, it was a no contest. Fair enough. You're right. It was a no contest. He actually won. At first, in the BoxRec, it was listed as a W, but the steroid stuff, it made it a no contest. So you're right, Hash Bash. Jules, to take a short notice fight and putting up some challenge against Shakur Stevenson, he could definitely touch a belt in his future. That could happen. That could happen. And to be honest, we don't really know how good Josh Padley is. Why? We haven't seen him on a full training camp. We haven't seen him, as a matter of fact, even when he was in full training camps for previous fights, he's signed to Matchroom now. So he's going to be training with the best tools and resources. He's going to be now a full-time boxer, fully focused. So we're going to see the best version of Josh Padley going forward. So I'm looking forward to seeing. I became a fan of him. Even before he fought Shakur, the fact that he took it on such a short notice, I became a fan of his. I'm a fan of Josh Padley right now. I'll tell you that straight up. On Lace, Jared is a gifted athlete, but he's not a boxer. I believe that he is a gifted athlete, and I think that he's a gifted boxer. He's a very good boxer, but you need that discipline to go all the way. You need to live that lifestyle. You need to be about that lifestyle. He don't look it to me. He's the guy that want to go in the ring, get a big paycheck, and then go party. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. Hash Bass. Hell no. Josh is trash, and he's just a little tough. Damn, my brother, you just on hating mode. You haven't even seen him. Like, why would you call him trash when you haven't even seen him in a full training camp dedicated to boxing? Why would you call him trash, my brother? I'm pretty sure, Hash Bash, that you've never seen a Josh Padley fight ever. You decided that he's trash already? God damn, my brother. At least give it a little bit of time before you hate. That quick? Come on, bro. Shit. Really? Come on, man. This guy was literally an electrician in boxing, and he was 15-0, lost to Shakur. How do you decide that he's trash already? This guy's never been signed to a major label. So the best version of Josh Padley, we're going to see it going forward. Now he's going to have a full training camp. He's with Matchroom. He's going to be training with great coaches in great facilities with great equipment. Let's see what we get next. At least wait for him to fight after a full training camp, his next fight, before you decide that he's already trash, bro. God damn. I know you'll be hating on Shakur, but don't start hating on Padley just yet. Give him a chance, my guy. Jesus Christ. But we digress from yesterday's action. Like I said before, my peoples, number one, Tiara Brown being the champion, the WBC champion, if there's a rematch with Skye Nicolson, she's going to dictate the terms. She's going to have to get paid. Eddie Hearn, there's no rematch clause. Eddie Hearn is going to have to offer a very big paycheck, and it's going down in the U.S. If those two things can happen, there's going to be a rematch. As far as Fundora, he won in spectacular fashion, faced a lower level opponent that we were all expecting him to knock him out. What's going to be next for Fundora? We shall see, my peoples. Black Jericho, you can't really say Josh is trash. It remains to be seen. That's what I'm saying, my brother. It remains to be seen. He did show some competitiveness against Shakur Stevenson. He did show some hand speed, some decent footwork, without even a full training camp. I want to see him. Hash Bass, C-level fighter at best, and his body is soft, and I don't have an eye. Yeah, you definitely don't have an eye. You definitely don't have an eye. John Parham, like and subscribe. Appreciate it, my brother. More my peoples. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Yo, this is Box Center. Your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show, my peoples. D Towers, yo, Ryan Garcia or Pitbull Cruz. Who you going for? Oh, I got Ryan Garcia all day. All day I got. In fact, Ryan Garcia tried to fight Pitbull, and they backed out of that fight. Like, nah, we good. Pitbull's team didn't want that fight. They know what's going to happen. John Parham, only way is on U.S. soil. I agree with you. I agree with you. And you know what? What makes it more important for that fight to be on U.S. soil? Yo, Tiara Brown and Skye Nicolson, that was a competitive fight, but she should have won by unanimous decision. The fact that it was split decision shows that one judge actually wanted Skye to win that fight. You did not see her winning. You wanted her to win. So I wasn't comfortable with that split decision. It needs to happen in the U.S. John Parham. Unless, what about Farm Truck and Asian? Ryan and Pitbull both trashed. Black Jericho. Damn, Black Jericho, they both trashed? Everybody's trash to you. Golly, my brother. Golly. Listen, Black Jericho, all I'm going to say is that you're on a very lonely island. You're not going to find a lot of people who agree with you. Very, very lonely island. Ryan Garcia, he's a very, very good fighter. Very good fighter. Very hard puncher. Elite level offensive power. Defense is shaky. The offensive power, elite level. At the top of the game. John Parham, is he a troll? Nah, he's not a troll. He hate on a lot of fighters. He got fighters that he like, but he hate on a lot of fighters too. Hash Bass. Anybody will be competitive against Shakur if Shakur fights them the way he fought Josh, going for the KO. I mean, you're a Shakur Stevenson hater. I expect you to say that. Jules, what's more of a highlight matchup? Domingo Bonilla, I placed a bet on round 7 and 8 for Jesus Ramos to knock out Scram. I was watching nervous as hell because Jesus almost got him out of there a few times. This was on the Fundora undercard. 8-1 bet. I was actually watching that fight live. I was calling that fight. Yo, it was a good fight. Scram was fighting back. But Jesus Ramos was landing on power shots. I thought he was going to get him out of there a few times. And finally he did. A Boogie 616. Abdullah on the rise. Keyshawn versus everyone. That's facts. Abdullah Mason, he's going up. He's still in that developmental process. Let's not start putting Abdullah up there with the best champions and everything just yet. But I say in a year or two, he's going to be up there already. But right now, Abdullah's still being developed. He's still facing lower level opponents, but he's on the rise. And Keyshawn Davis, he's already a world champion. You know, I would love to see Keyshawn Davis and Teofimo Lopez. Just because I know they don't like each other, I really want to see that fight. Black Jericho, you know he has a good chin because it's always getting hit with his trash defense. John, are you trolling? John Parham, Pitbull had a little more pop, he would be a problem. I mean, I think Pitbull has good power at 135. At 140, it looks like, you know, he's not really able to hurt those guys like that. John Parham, Jules, facts. D Towers, answer this honestly then. What's your opinion with Jake Paul? I mean, listen. Jake Paul is somebody who found his own lane in boxing. He's a troll. He's very smart. I'm going to tell you, Jake Paul is a very, very savvy, smart businessman. You know why? His fighting skills, he a C-level fighter. He a C-level fighter. You got beat up by Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury isn't even ranked in any of the sanctioning bodies, and he never will be ranked in any other sanctioning bodies. That's the guy who beat Jake Paul. So Jake Paul can't fight for shit. But he's a very smart businessman. What has he done? Gotten a lot of retired fighters and retired MMA fighters, basketball players, YouTube. He's getting a lot of people to step in the ring with him who already have a name so that he could beat them and say, look, I beat him. And what does that, what reaction does he get from fans? He get us mad. Like, yeah, but look, you beating this, you beating that. But that reaction that we giving him is making his profile go up because he's getting attention. Now, what's Jake Paul's biggest advantage and why he's making so much money in boxing? Because first, he built up his YouTube audience, millions of subscribers on YouTube, millions of supporters, true fans of his. So when he goes fight on pay-per-view, a lot of those people support him. So Jake Paul's bringing in his own fan base. That's why he can fight anybody and still make a lot of money. But he knows he's been calling for Canelo Alvarez. He's been calling for other professional fighters. He knows that they're going to beat his ass. He knows that they're going to pummel him. But, yo, if he fights Canelo, he's going to get like $50 million or some crazy shit like that. He's going to make a lot of money. So he's very smart. Just like John Parham said, he's a marketing genius, my peoples. So all he's doing is positioning himself in a situation where he's going to get a monster fight. Don't even deserve it, because he don't deserve to get in the ring with Canelo. He don't deserve to get in the ring with any world champion. Not with his resume. But his popularity is going to help him get those things. John Parham, ages 13 to 17 mainly. That's a fact. It's a bunch of little kids following Jake Paul. Like, actual boxing fans don't give a damn about. Yo, if Jake Paul was to say, I will never box a day in my life, I retire, is there anyone in this chat who's going to be sad about that? Oh, damn, man, Jake Paul's gone. Nobody's going to give a damn about that. We're all going to be like, oh, I'm glad he's gone. Shit, finally. So, but Jake Paul, he's a very smart businessman. He found his own lane in boxing, and he's making a lot of money off of it. And if you think about it, if any of us in here, if we could do what he's doing, wouldn't we do it? Wouldn't I step in the ring with a 50-year-old retired boxer if I could to try to make money? And with a famous YouTuber, I would definitely do what Jake Paul's doing if I had the opportunity to do it. Most of us would. But if we was to do it, we would be in the same position. A lot of people will hate us. Like, man, this bum-ass dude fighting retired people. Get the hell out of here. Jules, yeah, man. I remember that Serrano fight. Just amazing. Ooh, Amanda Serrano. Look, that's another thing, my peoples. Jake Paul is a smart businessman. Look, he did MVP promotions. Now he got Amanda Serrano's in there. He just signed Alicia Baumgartner. So he got 2 ladies that are world champions signed to him. And he's saying, oh, you know, I'm supporting women's boxing. I'm supporting women's boxing. Man, listen, that's bullshit. He's supporting women boxing. That's true. But he's not really doing it for them. He's doing it because none of the men that are stars will have ever signed with him. So what he did, he went after the women because the women wasn't making a lot of money. So what he did, he told Amanda Serrano, yo, I'm going to pay you this much if you sign with me. Amanda was like, oh, shit. I never seen $1 million payday. Hell yeah. Signed her. So he's signing women because women are not able to get big contracts with anybody else. They're not able to make that type of money with anybody else. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to give you the money. That's just raising up his own profile. He's doing it for himself. He's not really doing it for the women. Jake is doing great with Amanda Serrano, women's boxing, and he just signed Alicia. Yeah, he just signed Alicia Baumgartner. Like I said, Jake Paul is a very, very savvy, very smart businessman, my people. He really is. Jules, super dirty, but was just great fight on a women's scale. Black Jericho. It takes 2 to tango. So just as much as Jake is doing, so is the people who step in the ring with him. Hash Bass. Jake is good for women boxing. Yeah, he's signing the women. He's getting them paid. He's including them in big cards. Amanda Serrano got all those views because she was on the Mike Tyson Jake Paul undercard. That raised her profile. So he's definitely doing good for women's boxing. But he's doing it for his own convenience. He's helping them, but he's helping them because he knows he's going to help him. Black Jericho. He doing that to validate himself. Facts. Look, MVP promotion is doing this, doing that. I know what he's doing it, but it's working. And it is uplifting the women, so you can't knock that. Jules, those fights were no joke though, Smith. Women fighters deserve more heat. But yeah, Jake is selfish. That's facts. I'll be trying to show love to women's boxing. That's why you can see yesterday I covered Tiara Brown versus Skye Nicolson. I have been talking about it for a few weeks. I've been waiting for that fight. I wanted to see it. So I myself, I show love to women's boxing. When Clarissa Shields is fighting, you see me talking about it, posting videos about it. Same way Alicia Baumgartner. You know, I follow up on the women and I show them love. I'm about it. Hash Bass. That's good business. Yo, Jake Paul, like I said, man, he's a very smart, very savvy businessman, and he knows what to do to raise his profile and make a lot of money. So he can't box for shit. He's a C-level boxer, but he's making the right moves. He's cherry picking the right opponent so that he can win. And love him or hate him, he's in the game. He's in the game. Well, my peoples, I'm about to end this live. Before I do so, I want to once again give a shout out. John Parham, Hash Bass, Jules, I appreciate you dropping in. Black Jericho, D Towers, everybody who showed love, who came through this Sunday morning to check in with me. I appreciate you, my peoples. Y'all already know what it is, man. On Monday at 9 a.m., we're going to go at it. We're going to do what we do. This is your boy, Jay Smith. This is Box Center. Yo, you got a few seconds to hit that like button, my peoples. Whoever didn't hit that like button, stop playing with me. Y'all already know it, my peoples. This is Box Center. Love more Hinduism. Appreciate you, my G. Y'all already know it, man. This is Box Center. This is Jay Smith. And this is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. We only got 1,000 subscribers and some change, but we had it for the million, my peoples. I promise you. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.